What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Elite Real Estate Podcast, where real estate meets mindset, marketing, and momentum. I'm your host, Jimmy Nelson, and today we are coming to you live from the Royal Oath Insurance Group right here in Clinton Township, Michigan. Big shout out to the entire team here. Royal Oath is more than just an insurance agent. They're your promise keepers. Whether it's auto, home, business, life, or health insurance, they're here to protect what matters to you most. You can check them out at royaloathinsurance.com or give them a call at 586-238-3535. And, of course, today's episode is brought to you in part by our friends at Connection, the CRM built for closers. If you're a real estate agent, entrepreneur, or small business owner looking to automate, follow up, and close more deals and stay top of mind, then Connection is your secret weapon. Go to yourconnection.com and take control of your pipeline today. Now, whether you're tuning in live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, or X, catching the replay on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you stream, we're glad you're here. Do me a favor, hit that like button, drop a comment, and share this with a friend, and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. All right, guys, let's get locked in. We've got a powerhouse show lined up today, and if you're in business or real estate or just building something big, this one is for you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Elite Real Estate Podcast. Man, I'm so jacked up this morning and ready to get my guest on today. I'm going to bring him on right now, Mr. Nick Krem. How are you, my friend?
I am fantastic, Jimmy. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'll tell you what,
I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm having technical difficulties again. There we go. There we go. You're good.
We're good. All right, we're good.
We're good. We're good. So, man, I'm excited to have you on and get you in. So we were talking a little bit before this.
Yeah.
And I said the thing that has gotten me is like I was in a master class with you again yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's the third one I've been in, and this third mastermind I've been in with you. And I'm like, dude, I'm so excited to get you because I've learned something new every time.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about AI is there is a lot to learn, but we were talking about this before. A lot of times it just comes down to the fundamentals, how you speak with it. And, I think that's what we're going to be talking a little bit about today.
100%, man. And again, that's what's so exciting about this AI stuff. And again, and I've heard you say it different times and whatever else, but the cool part is it's not taking anybody's job away. It's enhancing people's job.
Someone was just talking about that. The founder of NVIDIA just came on again. He's like, look, what I believe is going to happen, and it is already happening, is AI is not going to take jobs away. The people who learn and use AI will replace the ones who don't. And I just always think about, if you guys remember, like the good office jobs before would be, must be proficient in Microsoft Office. Like now it's just going to be, must be proficient in AI. And that's just the adaptation and where we're going.
That's it. And it's just going to be part of what we do. It's not going to be, it's not going to be any different. It's just going to be part of what we do. AI is just it's not replacing anything. It's not doing anything like that. It is just going to be part of what we do and how it works.
I think it makes good headlines, right? It makes good clickbait, and it gives people things to talk about online and post their Terminator memes. Like it's going to be the end of the world. It's the same stuff with the internet and everything else, but history's just repeating itself with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I heard somebody else say it before too. It's kind of like, and I'm old enough to remember like before the internet, like when the internet came out, I was like, oh my God, it's going to ruin everything. And all the jobs and it was the same thing. The Terminator, right? The internet was going to take everybody over.
Yeah. And, I always bring this up, like during some of my presentations too, it was a real New York Times article that said computer virus spreads to humans. And it was like this big fear campaign. And it's like, all right, now that we know what the internet is, we can all laugh at that, right? Computer virus spreads to humans. But at the time when people were just really learning and figuring out what this was, that was like a valid thing. They're like, oh my gosh, can that happen? And people were in fear of it.
Yeah, 100%. People were scared. And then I remember the 2000, right? 1999, the countdown, the New Year's to 2000, and everything was going to go dark, right? We were going to lose power. The world was ending. The bank accounts were getting drained. It was gonna, and I remember like people taking money out of the bank, to not, they were afraid that they were gonna lose everything. And I was like, what's happening in 2000?
Yeah, and I think there is some validity that, there are some realities that a lot of people aren't really, I don't know, I guess you could say coming to terms with too, because there are, just like with the internet and with phones, on how there's new scams and new ways to do things. Now, Like places like scam artists are getting better because of AI, where they can literally duplicate your voice. They can duplicate different things. So there are some concerns in that department, but as humans, it's just what we naturally do. We adapt and we grow. So there's just going to be a new kind of world and a new way of doing things that just people have to adapt to.
Yeah. And that's it. And I think one of the coolest things, like I've seen you explain this, a bunch of different times, is that it's not what you put in is what you get out of it too, right?
Yeah. I think if you've been attending masterminds, right? You've been attending masterminds, you've been reading books, you'll hear this a lot. It's, you can tell someone's intelligence by the questions that they ask. It's the same core the same core fundamentals that we have been learning for years. If you have been a student of the game, and I mean just like the game of life, the game of business, the game of mindset, then you just have to apply these same fundamentals to AI. Stop thinking about this just as a cool piece of tech and start really thinking about this as an employee. And I promise you, all this will start changing. Start talking to it like an employee. Start talking to it like a high-level collaborator, asking intelligent questions. Garbage in, garbage out. If you ask bad questions, you will get bad answers. And it just comes down to, you can tell someone's intelligence by the questions that they ask. Learn how to form better questions and you will get better answers.
And the funny thing about that is too, that how true is that? Just like when you're at a listing appointment, right? The more questions you ask, the better questions you ask, the better answers you get, which leads you to easier on that listing appointment or that buyer consultation.
And it's like, don't try to act like you're the smartest person in the room and just know all the information. It's the same thing with ChatGPT. Don't just ask one basic question and mistake speed for quality, where it's like, write me a Facebook post, and then sit there and clap your hands like, oh, it's so quick. It did well. It's like, no, you have to go deep. You have to ask more questions to get better results. So I think it's, like you were saying, same thing with the listing appointment. You don't want to be the one talking the whole time. You want to be able to ask the right questions to get the right results.
And I think one of the most important things that I've learned being in your, in seeing you, three times now, I think one of the most important things, and I really wanted to bring this up and I want to dive into it.
All right.
But when you said talk to it, right? When you said talk to it, I think I was like, talk to it. What are you talking about? Just typing. And you're like, no, get the little microphone and talk to it.
Yeah. It's a lot of times just that there's a disconnect between what you're thinking and then how long it takes you to type. And I know sometimes it's like, man, I know if I have to type a lot, then I'm not as eager to, I'm going to miss some things. Sometimes you just have to hit that little dictate button on there and literally just talk to it as if you were talking to a collaborator, as if you were talking to somebody that you were working with. And just literally hit that dictate. And that's one of the best things that you could do, especially as you're getting started, because I'm going to be talking a lot more about ChatGPT, because I believe that's the large language model that most agents and everybody should be using, because it keeps advancing and keeps growing. And if you notice, anytime another large language model comes out with an advancement, ChatGPT is like a week or two behind. So just sticking there, but literally just hitting that dictate and start talking about yourself, your business, bottlenecks that you're having, your personal goals, and start just building up this memory feature. And I think that's one of the first places a lot of people should just start with this. Start letting your employee know your personal goals, your health goals, your business goals, the bottlenecks you're facing. Start really building this perfect employee.
Yeah. And it's funny that you bringing this up, but I want to kind of backtrack a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
But where did this whole thing come from? Like, where did Nick start this whole thing? Like, how did you get into this business? Like, where did this business come from?
Yeah, my brother and I have been into marketing and branding for over a decade. And it was really focusing on, again, just going back to the fundamentals, like the fundamentals of using NLP in your branding, how to build your brand, how to build your marketing, how to ask the right questions, how to bring people into this role. And it's funny because my team members, who are now the head of my research and development, they were the ones who first brought this to our attention. They're like, look, we are using ChatGPT, like when it was first coming out, to really get to the next step. Like, you should really start checking this out. I ignored them for about a week. Not going to lie. I'm like, we got this covered. We're doing great in our business right now. I don't need another distraction. until we really started diving into it. And we're like, man, there are things that I am doing for people. Like, just for example, we used to have a 7-bedroom content house in Orlando, Florida, and we turned the whole thing into a giant video studio. And what we would do when our clients would fly in, because they would fly in from all over the country, we would sit down for almost the entire first day and say, all right, who is your ideal client profile? And we would sit on the drawing board and we would write it out, and it would take hours because we would go deep. And then we would go deep into what is your core brand? What is your core message? How are we going to attack them? And then we would, when they would leave, my brother and I would sit there and we would formulate their entire content strategy around this. And that, look, it took an expert to do it, and it took hours. And then after they would shoot the content and we would have to come up with all the scripts, we would pass it to our copywriting team, our video editing team. And then we started taking a look at all the tools, and we're like, holy crap, Jimmy, AI can do all of this in seconds, and it can do it better if you train it right. And then we can send it to create the copy, and then we can send it to create the scripts, and then it can even break down the videos. And we're like, we'll go out of business if we don't make this adjustment. So we had to make a hard pivot in what we are doing and just put our ego aside of saying I can do everything better, because if I train what I know into this AI, then, man, we can really scale this and grow it up.
Yeah. Man, it's funny you say that. So I used to do a similar thing with agents when I'm coaching agents. It was like it's coming up with your value proposition, right? What's your value proposition? And I used to have this triangle that I would fill out, right?
Yeah.
And it would be like, what do people think of me? What do I think of myself? What am I more like? All that, right? And then you would get the words, and then you'd have to go to the whiteboard and write the. I'm like, we don't have to do that anymore.
No, we don't. And I think it's one of my hardest things was kind of not giving up writing emails, because I still personally write them, but I spent a lot of years and a lot of hard freaking work on my copy, right? Like writing good copy, writing good email, writing good landing page copy. And I really didn't want to pass it off to AI, ChatGPT. And until I really just dove deep, trained it. And I think this is a big part too, is you have to train your AI the right way. You can't just go into it and ask it to write you an email. So, and this is, if we're talking about to skating to where the puck is going, the best thing that leaders and people can do right now is transcribing all of like these calls that you're having, Jimmy, like the calls that you have with your team, the emails, and really just building out your knowledge base, coaching calls that you have done, and taking your information and transcribing it, and then just being able to upload it into ChatGPT and being able to upload it into a lot of these tools to start creating that core fundamental knowledge base. So that's what we were able to do with emails. And I've had over like a 30% increase in open rates, 10% increase in click rates. And I'm like, you know what? I'll put my ego aside. I'll spend a half hour on this instead of 5 hours myself. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And imagine but the thing is too, if you would take that 5 hours, let's say, and focus that on ChatGPT on how to build it, and then it saves you how much more time on the back end?
So much more time. And, I think this is where it's fun for the people using it and scary for the people not. Because if I can do something that used to take me 5 hours and 30 minutes, but I don't stop after 30 minutes. Right. I keep working and I keep doing more. There is literally no way someone can compete with that. Just no way, because I'm knocking things out in 30 minutes. And I'm not lazy, so I keep working after that. And I keep using the tools and I keep going. That's why this technology is exponential, because look, my time is now exponential.
Absolutely. And that's the incredible part about the whole thing is it's learning how to do it. Right. And that's where, you come in handy, right? Is you can teach us how to do it.
Yeah.
And instead of, it's just like anything though, right? Like what you guys are doing is incredible. And we'll talk about that, but what you're building is this community, right? Of this community of how can we help real estate agents utilize this tool better?
Yeah. And a lot of my training things come down to, it was actually I'll take it back to when I was working with a guy by the name of Jay Kinder. And it was like, we were so excited to start working with this guy, right? And I'll never forget this. He gave us this task to figure, I don't even remember what it was, but to figure out something for his YouTube. So my brother and I, we sat there and we figured it out. We got on a call with Jay, and we're young. So we're like really excited to tell him that we figured this out. And we started going into massive details and all these things we did to figure it out. About halfway through, he's like, whoa. Do I need to know this for it to work? And we sat there and we thought, like, no. He's like, then don't tell me that. He's like, give me the minimal effective dose. What's the smallest amount I need to know to be dangerous? And that changed my entire perspective on what we were doing moving forward. And it's the same way that we teach AI. I'm not going to go into massive details and all these things that agents could be doing. No. What is the smallest amount you need to know to be dangerous and go out there and save a bunch of time, work more efficiently, and go be a freaking real estate agent? Do the things that you are paid to do and just learn a little bit as you go.
You know, there's an old saying, and I'm gonna give you this old saying, and you can keep this, right?
All right.
It says, "Don't tell me how the watch works, just tell me what time it is."
I like that. I like that.
It's one of those things I live by, man. Like, don't tell me how the watch works, just tell me what time it is.
Yeah.
And because I don't, like, to Jay's point, I don't really need to know all that stuff, right? Like, you know, in your masterclass yesterday, you were talking about like your you were talking about building out GPTs, right? And I'm like,
yeah,
well, they're already built. I'm just gonna grab a couple of them. Like, I'm not gonna go build a GPT, right?
And I can get into this too, of just, there's a lot of things that I see agents and people doing right now that I think is a complete waste of time. From my perspective, a complete waste of time. And a big one is trying to build out all of these things using AI, when I believe, and I know for a fact, like trying to build out your entire ecosystem using AI, I believe is a complete waste of time right now. The reason being is, look, so much of like these CRMs are getting so advanced, and they're building it out into it. And they're building out entire ecosystems. And the smart agents who just learn the minimal effective dose and keep adapting, how do they use it personally to save time? And then all of these tools are just going to be given to them completely built out. They're the ones who are going to be winning. And it's like, I see a lot of agents spending so much time trying to build out these intricate systems using AI. And it's like, don't you know this is going to adapt in ways that you can't even comprehend in just 2 to 3 months? And if you're the one building it out, you're going to have to do it again and again and again. And all of a sudden you turn into an AI engineer and less of an agent. And you spend less time on the income producing activities and thinking you built this thing out. And it's like, the companies are literally going to just be handing you this on a platform. So like, it's just where are you spending your time, and how do you think about this? And that's something we can get into too, is, I believe, Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. It was a video that changed my life. And he says, you get what you think about most of the time. And I think how you think about AI and how you utilize it is the most important part of how you adapt to this new world.
Yeah. What was you get what you think about most of the time? Is that what it was?
You get what you think about most of the time. That is The Strangest Secret. So I just took that 45-minute video. If you guys like bettering yourself, Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret, you could find it on YouTube. Video that changed my entire perspective on life.
Oh, I'm gonna definitely have to go find that one.
Yeah,
definitely find it. But we did have a question come in. So what's the best way to transcribe YouTube videos?
I use a tool called merlin.foyer.work. It's free. It's a Google Chrome plugin. Merlin.foyer.work. It'll pop up on the side of every YouTube video. You can transcribe it. It will also give you a summary of every YouTube video. That's the tool that we use.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
So you get questions answered right on the show.
Dude, and like, this is where, if you know how to use AI and just know how this stuff works, I always like to say, have you ever seen the movie The Matrix, Jimmy?
Oh yeah.
So there's a scene in The Matrix where Trinity and Neo, and if you guys don't know The Matrix, they're basically like living in a computer simulated world where you can pretty much do anything if you know what to do. And there was a scene where they're on this roof and they're stuck, and then they see this helicopter. And then Neo looks at Trinity. He's like, do you know how to fly that thing? She's like, not yet. And then they go into her brain basically on there, and they download how to fly a helicopter. And then she's like, let's go. And then she's a badass and flies a helicopter away. And it's the same thing with AI, where it's like, ChatGPT, do you know how to do this, this, and this? It's like, not yet. But if you use merlin.foyer.work, you can find all these YouTube videos of the best trainers in the world telling you exactly how to do something, transcribe the videos, upload those videos into ChatGPT, and all of a sudden it's an expert on these fields because you get what you put into it. So if you find the best training on something, transcribe it, create a project in ChatGPT, upload those files into it, and now you got a badass thing on there that's completely trained how to do it.
Yeah. It's funny. So one of the things that I learned, and I've learned along the way, and then one of the things I learned in one of yours that I saw you was like I was trying to just figure out some marketing things that we were just doing with some of my Elite Edge Network stuff, and you know, it's always trying to come up with the coolest marketing things, right? Like, and so I literally went in and I told it to be Wendy Forsythe, the chief marketing officer for EXP. I said, you are Wendy Forsythe, right? And I went in this thing and it went and just gave me, I was like, what? It just gave me everything I needed to know.
Yeah. Dude, it's insane. You know, my favorite thing to do now is deep research. And I'll use people like you were just saying. I'll use Alex Hormozy. I'll use Frank Kern. I'll use Dan Kennedy around a specific topic. And just use deep research to create these PDFs and then upload like 5 to 6 PDFs around the topics that I want to know. And then I upload it into a project. And all of a sudden, it's like I'm speaking to these people through the lens that I wanted to hear it. And it's like a custom coach or collaborator that I just trained to literally just be a collaborator in my business. Any crazy idea that I have can be uploaded into there. And now you can literally even talk to it. Hit that little advanced voice button. And it's like, hello, Nick. And then, you know, you get to talk to it.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a question. Go ahead and see that question there. Is it merlin.foyer?
Yep, that's how you spell it. And then .work. So merlin.foyer.work. And it's free. It's a Google Chrome extension. And yeah, you just get to add it to it. And it'll pop up on the side. You can use it to summarize like websites when you're on the website. And then it's great for transcribing YouTube videos and things as well.
Love it. Yeah. And again, going to the experts to know this, where I can find this stuff ahead and then using it. Right.
Yeah.
You know, because again, it's you can find the answers, right? But then it's like, how do I then? And I think one of the things you talked about a second ago is important for people to understand. Like, there's no need for me to go and invent merlin.foyer.work, right? I don't need to go invent that. It's already there.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to waste time trying to figure out how to do this if the tool's already made.
Dude, yes. Yes. Guys, don't go out there and try to create your own tools. I know it seems easy and you can do this. Like one of the popular things online right now is to do vibe coding, and I can vibe code all these different things in these websites. It's like in a couple months, there's going to be so much that is just completely done for you. All the things that people are teaching you how to build, how to manipulate, and they're literally just going to be given to you. So it's like, look, like, all right, great way to put it here, Jimmy. Like when CRMs really started first coming out, I'm sure there were some people who tried to build their own CRMs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I think they still do.
They still do. And it's just like, but this one does everything that you could want out of that. And you have the minimal effective dose. You just have to learn how to use it. So don't go out there and try to just build all your different AI tools. And I tell people all the time, if you're not making the money you want to in real estate, don't go get 5 other side gigs, because then you still won't have, like, you'll be half, but whatever, you know what I'm trying to say, and everything. And it's like, look, you can make literally unlimited income in this industry, right? So don't try and all of a sudden go and create an AI tool that you're going to sell for millions of dollars and just get caught up in this online social media world where it's so easy to do this, where chances are if someone's selling you on that dream, then it's really not that easy and not anybody can just do it. And it's, you know, like, don't go out there and just try to create all your things. Heck, I don't even do that. No, I look at the best tools that are out there and I figure out what are the best ways to apply these tools and bring it to real estate agents.
Yeah. And again, like I teach agents this all the time too. And I'm coaching and training now is like, AI is just another tool in your tool belt, right? Like you still have to go out and do the work. Like there's still work to be done. AI can tell you, I dug deep on it and went into like some scheduling and what I should be doing on a daily basis, and like really dug deep in that, and not in that aspect of it, which it came out incredible. It gave me a score sheet on how I should be keeping track of what I'm doing on a daily, like it gave me the whole thing. But I still have to do the work.
Yeah.
You still got to get in the office and do the work.
Man, and I think this brings up a good point. AI will not fix your bad habits. AI cannot fix your bad habits. And if you have bad habits, this is what is going to be the true separation. It is not going to be AI itself. It is because AI is now an exponential tool. So if you have good habits, you are asking the right questions, and you are using this to expedite your time so you can get back to your income producing activities, that's where the magic is going to happen. Not the people who are lazy and looking for AI to solve all their problems, to solve that they are unwilling to pick up the phone, to solve the fact that they are unwilling to just do the freaking work. It will not solve that problem. If you are using this as an avoider, you are either going to transcend or descend with this technology. It's going to bring bad habits to light, because you are going to use this and you are going to descend and just look for ways for this to do everything for you. You are going to descend with your knowledge, with your ability, with your skills. The human element is getting more and more important. So I always say, I believe AI is here to spend less time behind a computer and more time communicating with clients. So if you have bad habits, this is going to bring it to light.
Yeah. And I want everybody to understand and listen to what you just said, right? Because again, it goes to the same thing. And we all get stuck in this, right? It's just like social media. It's not any different. And agents will tell me, I'm just going to do business through social media. And I say, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's not just posting something on it going, I post, like I sold a house today. That doesn't work, right? Like it's, what are you, like, are you DMing? Are you reaching out? Are you making phone calls? Are you, how are you staying in contact? How are you staying in front of people? Because it's like, just posting 3 times a day is not going to fix your problem.
Yeah.
Right. You actually still have to talk to people. You actually still have to make some phone calls. You actually still have to do all the things. AI and social media and all that stuff will help you transcend, right? Or if you're just doom scrolling all day on your TikTok, you're not accomplishing anything, right? If you're just reinventing things in AI every day and it's teaching you how to write an email, you're not actually sending the email.
And I give props to the agents who are who take social media like a job. And there are, and it's a select few that do treat it like a job, and they work their freaking butts off to get the right content, to stay consistent, to get the right camera, to get the right materials. And the ones who do it like that, and it's a very select few, it is not a lot of them, but treat it like a job, they do well with it. But then there's the vast majority of agents who just think, oh, I don't want to make calls, so I'm just going to create a post in a couple minutes, go to ChatGPT and say, write me a Facebook post for real estate agents. And then they post it and be like, I'm posting, it's just not working. And it's like, it is literally just not how the world works. Fundamentals, consistency, and hard work are still apply. AI does not replace that. It just doesn't.
No. And again, you can get caught up, because I've done it, right? I've done it. You've done it.
Yeah.
You can get caught up an hour, 2 hours into ChatGPT and like, oh crap, I got to call 3 people back. I got,
for sure.
You get lost in it.
Yeah. And, I think that's where, look, people will sell you a dream. Use our complete AI system and it'll text all your leads, email all your leads, call all your leads. But then you start getting into legality and look, agents, you realize you are on the line for everything that AI emails out and texts out. I'm not saying not to use some of these tools to a certain extent, but just understanding that, look, the people that would put whether you get fined or not, don't care if it was the tool that did the email or the call or not.
Nope.
if things are said and done, you are on the line for it, period. Right? So it's, look, I'm not saying not to utilize these tools, but the people who just wanted to replace all their work, so all they have to do is go on the listing appointment with somebody who only wants them, they're going to be the same agents who are complaining about leads, who are complaining about the systems, who are complaining about making calls. It's just going to be the same thing, just looking a different way. People are trying to buy the golden goose that's just going to solve all their problems so they don't have to work hard. They're going to lose, but they're just going to lose quicker now.
Yep. And you're right. And you know, the reiterating the same thing too, you said about the social media, like, you know, we know go, right? Like she's a pro though. Like
pro.
Like you can't keep up with her.
No.
Like
yeah, it's a full-time job and she freaking crushes it and she knows her shit. And it's not just, she doesn't just wake up like, I'm just going to post something, you know, like she knows the algorithm. She knows the different way it works. She stays on top of it. She treats it like a job. Like she crushes it there, but she also tells people the same thing. So it's like, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into anything you are doing, and just AI is no difference. If you're going to use it the right way, treat it like a job, learn the language, which is important too, because it is the language of the future. How well you communicate with this will determine how well of inputs and things you get back.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. Like it's, and again, that's why, and everybody will say to you too, like, why do you give this stuff away for free? Right. And it's because nobody's going to use it.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely that, you know, like 95% of people aren't even going to do anything with it.
Yeah.
But I just, you know, I learned from some of the best people in this, you know, Tony Robbins and all of them, they give it all away. You know, John Sheplack always says, look, just give it all away. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to reinvent the wheel, which is actually something I learned at our first mastermind in Key West. My brother and I, and that's how we started our business, was leaving this mastermind in Key West. And it was a crazy room. It was like Jay Kinder, Veronica, Dan Beer, Carlos German, Gil Ramos, was all in this room. And it was like before a lot of people ended up joining. And as you know, my brother and I went back to our room and they all they opened up doors and they were so vulnerable and just showed us how they made their money and the tough things that they went through. And then I did what most people did. I went back to the room. I'm like, all right, so they told us to do this, but here's what I think we should do. And I started drawing up, like I was like the crazy mad scientist. And I was just at the whiteboard. And my brother said, whoa. They just told us exactly what to do. What makes you think you could do it better? Show me your proof. And I'm like, he's like, what if we just did exactly what they said? I'm like, holy crap. Let's not reinvent the wheel. So I looked at the best marketers and the people, and they say, give it all away for free. So I'm like, I'm just going to give it all away for free.
Yeah. It's
simple as that.
I know. And it's amazing when you get in a room and that's what people have said to me too, right? Like, you know, I get recruited to other places and whatever else. We all do, right? It's not
for sure.
It's not like I'm a tough guy. We all do, right? It's the world we live in.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the people I get to be around, you know, Al Stasic, you know, Jay Kinder and Kurt Sewell and like Go and Tina Call, and like, I'm like, you guys want me to leave that? Are you like, come on, man.
You know, and I think that's where, you know, this company too, I have a firm belief in the group that we have. I got the honey badger tattooed on me right here. You know, I believe that's a whole story for another time here, Jimmy. But look,
I'll have to make the trip down to Cleveland and figure out what's up with that.
Yeah,
like Yellowstone, like, you know what I mean? Like, you get the branding on you.
Oh no, I didn't get branded. But you know, we hear these things a lot. You see people quote it like your net worth is your network, and like you like nobody's stronger than their environment. But it's like, it is just the absolute truth. And these people just give it away. Yeah. All you have to do is plug in. And I think the biggest mistake people make is they try to plug in and they come up with their own way. Like, how am I going to use this? It's like, put your ego aside. This person has made millions of dollars and they will show you an exact blueprint. Put your ego aside and just do exactly what they say. Yeah. And you'll be surprised because it'll work.
Yep. It's amazing. They're like, and then it's so funny how many people we hear say exactly what you said. I got back to the hotel room and I said,
Yep.
I'm going to do it like this. Like, wait, why would I? And I've done it. We've all done it. We've all said that. Like, yeah, I don't want to do it like that. I want to do it like this. It's like, well, why would you do it like this? Like, it's already been done this way.
Yeah.
You all of a sudden you think you're going to improvise on it and make it better. Like,
yeah,
it's amazing. But I think that's one of the biggest things, and especially in our industry, and I think in all entrepreneurs really, is it's this mindset, right, of being able to put the ego aside, right?
Yeah.
And social media has not helped us with that.
No.
Right? Social media has made it worse.
Yeah.
Now we all have platforms, we all have podcasts, we all have streams, we all have things that we're jumping on. So it gives us this identity of, oh, we're out in front of people, which we are, right? There's people watching and listening and that will watch and comment later and do all those and do all the great things. And we appreciate all that. But again, it's I was just at a men's health event a couple weeks ago, and I was one of the speakers there. But we talked about, like, it's great. Yeah, I get to go speak in front of 1,000 people, and it's cool. And then I got to go home and take the garbage out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That doesn't change.
No. And, just talking about social media too, I think just something to talk about, since we're on the topic of AI and social media, that I think it's really important for people to understand. And I'm not going to do this to scare people, but it is the reality that we are currently living in. Is we are all going to undergo, every human who has access to social media and online will undergo extreme psychological warfare with AI, because, Meta announced to the public they've released millions of AI agents onto their platform. What that means is they are not real people. They are literally an AI agent acting as a person on Facebook. So, like, sometimes when you go to some posts and you're like, how could somebody comment to this crazy thing? And then you see people like arguing back and forth. I don't want anybody on here to be arguing with an AI agent, to be arguing with a robot about, oh, this is right, this is wrong. Like, and that's real. And if Meta has just openly announced that, do you guys, like, seriously, Jimmy, do you believe that countries are above using that to their advantage?
No.
Like,
and
go ahead.
My thing is too with this whole thing, and I hate to interrupt, but my thing with this whole thing is, like, we know what this is capable of, right? Like, know it at a higher level than I do, right? But what does somebody at a really high level know?
Yeah,
this is capable of, right?
Dude. And, like, you're absolutely right. And, just like these new things, like they unleashed VO3. So VO3 is a video generation tool where you can really not, like, if you're just scrolling, you can't even tell, like, if it was an AI video or not. I've seen it multiple times. I'm watching like a Joe Rogan podcast clip, and it's an AI Joe Rogan voice using his clip of two people talking. I'm like, he never even said this. There's an entire Instagram channel of Matthew McConaughey quoting, and it's not even him on the thing. It's his AI voice cloned to get him to say things. Granted, that's like a motivational one, but then you just have to think again, do I believe countries, companies, and people are above using that to their advantage? Absolutely not. So it's just like, look, I'm not saying this to scare people, but we just have to understand we're all going to go under extreme psychological warfare, where there are going to be videos, clips, AI agents commenting on things that might not have ever happened or might not be real. And it's just going to be a funky time that we live in. And that's where I tell, like, what we control up here, you get what you think about most of the time. If you are a doom scroller, you will literally be scrolling to your doom now, because you'll start, like, then you'll start questioning everything. You'll go deeper and deeper and start watching every video. Is it real? Is it not? Going in the comment section. And it's, look, AI cannot fix your bad habits. Or if you are somebody who is triggered easily, who is online often, you're going to live in a very different, tough world because of this technology.
And the scary part is, like, my parents are in their 80s, right? Mm-hmm. And they're on, my mom's on Facebook, right? And my mom will call me and say, did you see this? Or did you see that? I'm like, Mom, that was AI. Like that, like that didn't really happen. How do you know? I'm like, because he's got 7 fingers on one hand. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, but if you don't know what you're looking for, or
Yeah.
the voice doesn't match the mouth, right? Like, there's little things that we know because we work with it that you can see,
Yeah.
but that's even getting better. Like you said, right? Like, that's even getting better. Now you got Bigfoot running around there. The PLB Bigfoot is the best thing
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. And you know, it's as AI continues to advance, like fingers aren't even a thing anymore. It got better at fingers. It got better at everything else.
Yeah.
So I was talking with somebody. Actually, my sister's husband is taking classes right now. One of their classes was AI ethics and being able to spot these things. And it's not fingers, it's not those things anymore. So the big thing to look at, which it'll probably get better at this too, is reflections. It didn't master reflection. So if someone's wearing glasses and there's no reflections off of glasses or like mirrors and like that part of it, that's how you're able to spot it. But who the heck is looking at the reflection when they are watching videos?
Right.
But like, that's what you look for now. But again, couple months, that's probably going to be solved by AI. So then it's, what is the other minute detail that only an expert will be able to see?
Yeah.
And then that person will be deemed as the conspiracy theorist because they're saying, look at the reflection on the glasses. Like, well, no, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, look, it's just going to be a very different world that we all live in. And it comes down to one of my favorite quotes, because we've all heard the quote, survival of the fittest, right? Like, that's the quote that we've all heard. But that's actually the watered down version. It is not the most intelligent of a species, nor the strongest that survives. It is the one most adaptable to change. It is not the strongest nor the most intelligent. It is the one most adaptable to change. And we are all going to be asked to adapt faster than any living human has ever been asked to adapt because of this technology. So it comes down to, I believe, this mindset. Because, you know, like Elon Musk got 50 of the smartest people in the world in this room. And he tasked them with one thing. He said, where is this going to be in 5 years? Come back to him after months. And you know what they told him, Jimmy? We have no freaking clue. Because this technology is adapting faster. It's building upon itself. You listen to all the leaders, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon, founder of NVIDIA. They're all feel like they're a little behind, like they're playing catch up with everybody else. They don't really know where this is going. So every human is in the same boat. We feel overwhelmed. There's more coming at us than we know what to deal with, and we don't know where this is going.
Right.
So we have to adopt this mindset of just good and getting better. You will never feel like you're ahead of this. You will never feel like you know all of it for the rest of your life. And that's going to be scary for a lot of people. It's going to be daunting. So we have to adapt to this new mindset that I'll never know everything about this, but you just have to be good and getting better.
I love that. And one of the other things too is this is important for real estate agents, but entrepreneurs and business owners all alike, right? Don't waste your time looking for the reflection in the glasses.
Yeah. That's not the point of what I said. No.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, but that's the thing. No, I think that is the point of what you said was like, don't, like, who's looking for that, right? Like, it's somebody that has way too much time on their hands, right? And if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a real estate agent, if you're a business owner, you don't have time to do that, right? Like, you have time to go in, do your posts, do your social media, and then get the heck out of it and go do something else, right? Like, go sell a house, call somebody, go on an appointment, go do your next thing instead of doom scrolling and then looking for the reflection in the glasses, right? Like, just keep moving. And I think that the ability to be able to adapt to change is super important, right? That is because the only thing constant in life is change. That's it.
And, you know, that just goes back into the habits. And, you know, I believe this is where the human aspect is going to come into it more and more. And, you know, just even studying on things that are happening. Like, I was just reading up on how Japan right now has like a loneliness epidemic where they're like, specifically my generation, from people working at home, utilizing technology so much. There's this guy who started his own job. He literally is paid to just sit there and spend time with people because they want that human connection. And that's where I believe with AI, and you see, like, I see posts of people online that have gone way too deep and like treating ChatGPT like it's their actual boyfriend, girlfriend, or this person, and they harm themselves or do other things. And it's like the world as we know it is going to be adapting and changing so much. And this technology is going to be intertwined with our lives more and more and more. I mean, just look what like happened with the internet and technology in our phones and how crazy social media has gotten and like just engulfed people's lives and just overtaken it. The human element is going to become so much more valuable. And like people keep thinking it's the other way around. It's going to get rid of it. No, for the skilled individuals, it is that much more valuable.
Yeah.
How you use this technology to be. Yeah, to be more human. You know, just a simple phrase we have is be human, use AI.
Yes.
Like, be human, use AI.
Yeah.
Don't use it to overtake your life. Use it to just become a better human.
Yeah. And it's so because and there is the evil out there, right? There is the other side of that that's always there, and it's always going to be there,
Always.
right? Like they're going to be the first adapters. They're going to be the first ones to do it. They're going to be the first ones to run on the wrong direction with it, right? But that's, you know, the other thing is too, like it's up to us too to kind of help protect it, and I think become guides, right, for entrepreneurs. And I think that's one of the things that we can do is like step in, and especially with what you're doing with AI specifically, right? Like be the guide of like, okay, this is how you should use this. This is what you can do with it, right? And putting people in the right direction with it. And you know, your AI certified agent stuff I think is phenomenal, and I applaud you for what you're doing, man. I really do. Yeah.
You know, and something here's an exercise that we use with this that I haven't seen anybody else really talk about or use. And I think to me, it was one of the most impactful strategies that I've used using ChatGPT. And it's one of the reasons I wanted my health journey too. So real simple strategy, right? So what you do is you put into it like 4 to 5 habits that you know you should be doing to better your business, your personal life, and your health. And 4 to 5 total. So I'll say like for agents and most people, it'll be like making phone calls every single day, right? Sending emails out consistently, working out 5 days a week, eating healthy, and let's just say having a family dinner once a week. So I type in, here are my 5 habits I need to do daily and weekly. And I will type those in, making phone calls every single day or like 1 hour a day, sending out emails, working out 5 days a week, eating healthy, and having a family dinner, or making every one of my kids' games. And then you prompt ChatGPT and say, based on what you know about me, paint me a picture of where my life will be in 5 years if I do these daily habits every single day. Paint the most grand version of my life. Provide specific examples and experiences I will have, where my life will be, where my business will be. Tell me a story. And we have this whole beautiful prompt on this, right? And then you hit enter and it will paint you a picture. And what this does is, see, our human brains work linearly. I think that's the reason why most people don't make their daily phone calls. They don't work out consistently, is because we think linearly. We just think, when am I going to hit that goal? What's the next thing and the next thing? We can't think about the compound effect of what if I just did this daily for 6 years, what would my life look like? But ChatGPT can, and it'll paint this grand version of it. But then you flip it and you say, based on what you know about me, tell me a story of where my life will be in 5 years. If I don't do these consistently, I keep bouncing around to new ideas. For me too, I was like, if I pick up drinking again, if I do these different things, and it will paint you another picture. And I'm like, be brutally honest of where my life will be. And you get to see 2 versions of you in 5 years and just sit there. And then I highly suggest you hit the button to say, read aloud. So you don't just read it, you hear it. One will be like, heck yes, I want to become this individual and transcend. And the other would be like your worst nightmare brought to life. And that's where like using this, because it's like, where will I be in 5 years if I just did these simple daily activities? And then I take it a step further, Jimmy. And this is where I think it becomes fun. Because again, going back to Earl Nightingale, you get what you think about most of the time. And what that means is what you think about, what you listen to and consume. Because then I take the good version of 5 years and I go to ChatGPT and I'm like, write me a song in the style of Frank Sinatra. And then I copy and paste that 5-year version of myself. And then it'll write me a song. And then I go to a place called suno.com. It's free and it creates music for you. And then I take that and I literally create a song that is about me, my goals, what I can become, and all of these things. And then I can listen to this song about myself, and I get to rehear my goals and what I'm working towards, what my life can become. And now I can listen to that over and over and over and over and over again, and literally start becoming this individual. And that's a way that you can use this to literally better yourself.
And it's so fun. It would sound something like this.
Yeah.
So that's what's funny. That's what I did with the show, right? Like I put, so if you listen to the song, right, that's the show. It's like, there's no pressure, no diamonds, right? Don't look back. You're going to hurt your neck, right? Like, I put all that in there. So all that was it from me put into that song, right? Yeah. So that became the song, the show intro, right? Because I put that all in there, and it went to Suno, and it wrote it out for me, and now that's my, and because the other part is, if you're starting a podcast, right, or if you're thinking about it, I do teach a class on that as well. but because you have to watch out for music rights, if you let AI do it, there is no music rights. So I can play that. Now I'm on Apple and Spotify and everywhere else, and now I don't get hit with anything because it's AI generated.
There is. So I will say this though too. If you try to become an artist and get paid off of it, that is a big no-no. Yeah. They will hit you with that. They're like, you can't become an online artist using some of these platforms, Suno being one of them. So like, don't try to then, again, where someone will be like, oh, make money, suno.com, suno.com. But don't try to become an artist now and be like, oh, I can make millions of dollars. No, that's just not how it works. Like, again, be a real estate agent, better yourself. Don't try to go out there and now become an AI artist.
Yeah. It's cool for my show intro, right? Like,
yes. Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, it's cool for that, right? The show intro, outro, it's cool for that.
It's also great for creating listing music videos, right? Because you could take your listing description and ask ChatGPT to write me a song in the style of Drake, upload it into Suno, and then you get a song talking about 3 bids, 2 bass, like whatever. And then you can combine that with your listing video, and now you have a listing music video.
And again, like your GPTs again, man, like, right? Like your GPTs that are already there and to take advantage of. And I think that is, again, you don't have to make your own GPT. It's already there. Just got to go grab it. Yeah, just got to go grab it. And I think that is, there's like, again, there's so much, and we've covered so much like today. And I'm like, again, with all the questions coming in, man, like it shows you how many people are using it, how many people don't really know how to use it, right? And again, or where to go. I think that's the biggest thing is, like, I think to some of us, like, again, I think I'm a pretty good adapter. I'm 52, right? Yeah. So I'm 52, and I've had conversations with my friends. My wife even said to me the other day. So my wife's a dental hygienist. Yeah. And she was doing something at her office, and I said, hold on a second. And I grabbed her phone, put ChatGPT on her phone, and I went in there and I said, who is the top dentist in the world? Right? I Googled that, found out who that was. And then I put him in and I said, all right, what does he do in his office to do this, blah, blah, blah. And it gave me like this, spit this whole thing out. And she was like, how did you get so techie? I'm like, I just learned stuff, man. Like, but I also learned how to shortcut it.
Yeah. And that's a whole nother topic that we didn't even get into too, where more and more people every day are going to ChatGPT to get their information and to search for things and becoming findable on ChatGPT. It's called GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. And yes, that is really important because it is no longer you get an entire page from Google or multiple pages. ChatGPT is going to give you 3 to 4 options. And if you aren't one of those 3 to 4 options, people aren't going to start finding you online.
That's going to go. We can go deep on that because that's a whole, like, because we've always talked about SEO, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Now the SEO thing is still there.
It is, and it plays into this as well, but it all comes down to your digital density around keywords. Are you showing up on blogs? Are you showing up online? Do you have the Google reviews? Is your Facebook business page optimized for this? Combining all of these things, are you digitally denser than the other people around those topics? And that's what we're helping real estate agents do too. We have an entire program where we have an AI marketing assistant building up these profiles, accounts, your online presence around your digital density. And we're helping agents start to become findable on ChatGPT and literally start getting phone calls because people searched on ChatGPT.
Incredible. And so all right, we got about 5 minutes left.
Okay.
I see some of the names that are watching, and I see some of the names that are on the phone, and I see who's here now, and I know some of these guys.
Yeah.
And I know they probably haven't done much with AI yet, if anything at all. Yeah. Right? If anything at all, which is okay. But if you were to start with over with your AI today, like what would be the first thing you would do with it?
The first thing that I would do, the first thing I will do is I always tell people to start with those 50 deep questions, and we have those prompts laid out where you have ChatGPT ask you 50 deep thought-provoking questions about your personal life, your business, and your health and fitness goals. It'll ask you those questions, and then you hit that dictate, and then you start talking to ChatGPT. You got to start building out and treating this like an employee. If you had an employee, but it didn't know your business, it didn't know your goals, it didn't know what you were working towards, probably wouldn't be a good employee. So I'd start by training my employee. The next thing I would do if I was a real estate agent, I would go to I'm not just plugging us in here for no reason. I would go to live.krem.ai. Live.krem.ai. We do a free live AI workshop every single Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. It is a half hour, and it is just bite-sized pieces of simple ways you can start implementing this into your business. Just like anything else, if you want to get great at something, find somebody who's already done it and get the minimal effective dose from them. We do it every single Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, live.krem.ai. It's free. You can join. And our goal is simple, to help you make this transition. That's what I would do.
Yeah. And you're right. Because then is knowing is half the battle, right? The old G.I. Joe, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's true. Like, because we I think some of us, me specifically, I know, jumped into ChatGPT like right away, and it was just like, write this listing for me, right? Like that's all I did with it at the beginning. So I'm like, I wish I could just go like clean it out.
Yeah.
And start like clean slate this thing and just start right back over again. That would be great. Like, because I would do exactly what you said. I would go with those 50 questions, and I would start talking to it, right? I would just go down the list and say, all right, here's what. Just so it would get to know me better.
Yeah.
Right. Because it does a good job now. I've done enough with it that it's gotten better. Like, it knows my kids, right? Like it'll start putting the boys' names and stuff, right? And it knows my wife. Like it knows all these things now, and it remembers it. But I wish I would have, done that. It's like cleaning it up, right? Because it got me, at first I was just trying to do everything in there, right? Like, write this email.
Yeah. And I think it's I would learn the language. I would learn prompting. I see some people, and these are marketers that are going for clickbait. Prompting is dead. No, it is not, and it never will be. Because prompting is simply the language that you speak to AI. And the better you can just learn the language and how to ask the right questions, I believe will be how well you adapt to the future. So don't believe that. Learn just simple prompting. This most simple one is act as, my goal is, ask any clarifying questions. So meaning, act as a billionaire real estate marketer who specializes in email activation and databases. My goal is to activate my real estate database using the information above, and draft an email that gets a lot of opens. And it's very basic, but ask any clarifying questions if needed. Act as, a doctor who specializes in XYZ. My goal is to help diagnose what I am currently going through. My doctors can't seem to figure it out. I'm going to upload my MRI and my different details into this, ask any clarifying questions if needed. Because yes, there was just a whole thing on this 7-year-old who they couldn't figure out what was going on with his spine, went to all these different specialists. Nobody could figure it out for years. The family uploaded into ChatGPT. They knew how to communicate with it. ChatGPT diagnosed it. They went to the specialist and they're like, son of a bitch, that's it. Got him into surgery and got it solved. So like this transcends so much more than just your business. Like how well you're able to communicate with this. Cause I'll tell you this, your doctors right now are probably going through medical school using ChatGPT. So not saying putting anything against them because that's smart, but this is just where the world is going. So the better you can learn the language, the better off you'll be.
And how can I get information faster? That's it. That's it. How can I get the information faster? Speaking of that, where can we find Nick Krem?
Man, you could just go to krem.ai. The best thing that you can do for us, everything that we have is krem.ai. You can go there to learn more about us, to follow us on all our platforms, to get information. We have a bunch of free training on there, bunch of free resources for real estate agents. You just go to krem.ai.
Make it simple. Krem.ai, guys. Follow him there. Nick, I appreciate the time, my friend. We will get you back on for sure. Yeah. And I can't wait to get you back on because now there's a whole bunch more stuff we can dive into. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. If you're watching it now or later on YouTube, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. Follow it everywhere. The Elite Real Estate Podcast. Find us anywhere you find podcasts. I will talk to you all next Friday. No pressure, no diamonds, gotta take the leap. The climb is steep, but worth it for the